Good morning.
Good morning.
We're here. Focus on art. We've got our cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
So, oh, that's a bit high, isn't it? Maybe I should have brought that down a little bit more.
That's all right, we just tall up. We just
We'll
have to sit up.
we'll have to sit up.
We've got the parrot in, that's fine.
Yeah, stop hiding behind the parrot.
It's my friend. Edgar.
Edgar the parrot. Okay. Well, this week, following on from last week, we had 3 great interviews last week.
did.
Really enjoyed
Really
chatting to our interviewees, and thanks to them again for coming in. Oh, or in the case of Merrick, for joining us online.
A bit of a hiccup at the beginning.
Yeah, it
but
was a
it's
bit of a
okay.
hiccup, but the ones today are just in the studio, so that's a lot easier. But the first one today is basically we're going to be talking to Mary.
I
because
bet you're all excited about that one.
because as the founders of this, we just realised that a lot of you don't even know who we are.
Yeah. You don't even know what we do. We might be doing it, but we don't know.
Yeah, so we thought we would spend a little bit of time with Mary today, this morning.
Oh dear.
And unfortunately, due to ill health, our second interview has been cancelled. So we might just extend the first one a little bit more. But we are very excited that we've got Warwick Sarah coming in at 12. Very much looking
Really
forward to
good.
meeting her. So yes, great news there.
Hopefully a
So
little bit of music, maybe.
yeah, music would be good. I know Leo's threatening to bring his guitar down as well, actually. So if you're, I think Warwick Sarah's on at the moment. Hi, here she is. She's
Oh,
watching.
there she
Hello. So yeah, so you might be joined by my partner husband Leo if you want. He's looking forward to meeting you. Anyway, Mary, the focus.
Hi.
Not focus on art, focus on Mary.
Focus on Mary. It's all about me today. I can't believe it. Oh
Well,
dear.
it's good because actually I've known you quite a few years
Yeah.
now, and I see your artwork obviously because I see it online and in your place, but I don't actually know much about your inspiration.
Okay.
So first of all, tell us a little bit. How long have you been an artist? Is it all your life, or when did you become an artist?
Pretty much, yeah. So, I mean, I was always, I'd say since I was a child.
Mhm.
So I always was drawing. I guess most creative people are like that. You know, I was just a doodler when I was a child. So, as you do, and yeah, it just goes from there. I did have a bit of a gap, like you do, from when you in your 20s or whatever, party time, and yeah. So I always liked drawing. I always liked doodling quite a lot, like really sort of just mindlessly just creating characters and so forth. And that, for me, that's what I've always been about, character work.
Character work.
Yeah.
So you like creating characters.
I like creating. So basically, I would look at a curtain when I was a kid and I could see shapes and faces and stuff like that in it.
Okay, I could see fairies when I was a kid, but I'm not
Yeah.
entirely sure that was right.
Oh no, I used to have a bottom of the garden. We found like used to
These
think
one at
there's
the bottom of
fairies.
my garden, that's a problem.
Oh right. So I think it. You know, if you've got that kind of creative mind, I think you just go off with the fairies, don't you? Really.
Yeah, you can see where that expression comes from, really, can't you?
I
Yeah.
think it is, yeah. So I think for me it was I just grew from there, and I always looked at characters. I always like look at something and create a character out of it. Like I could I'd see a person and I'd see them as a character of some sort.
So like a caricature or a cartoon in a way?
Kind of, yeah. It's like, so you know, like I'll think of orangutan and I think of Sherlock Holmes. Like,
Why?
I mean, I don't know. It's just like I say, oh, wouldn't it be funny if orangutan was like Sherlock Holmes?
That is quite weird.
Yeah, that is quite weird, isn't it? I mean, I just think.
In fact, that's quite disturbing. I think that every time I see Sherlock Holmes in the future, I'm going to be thinking of the
Is it
orangutan.
an orangutan swinging around, you know, going off of you, you know. But yeah, so it's sort of things like that. So I always like to try developing from my thoughts. So a lot of it is from a lot of the time when I do art, it's actually planned but not planned. So whatever comes out, comes out.
Right.
So I'll start doing something and I'll just start, I don't know what's going on there. But then I just go into this little world and then it starts emerging like shapes and characters, or, you know, the textures. I go, I don't really like that. Then I get into the texture of the paint and stuff. So I kind of really absorb myself a lot in that artwork.
So you said that you basically stopped for a bit in your 20s.
Yeah.
And so what made you start again?
I think it was purely because I used to be a hairdresser, I still do it a little bit.
I know.
Any takers? So I was cutting. Actually, it's funny enough. I was working in London, right, and I was working in just off Covent Garden, Trafalgar Square, Covent Garden, all that area, and I was cutting people's hair from poets to opera singers to comedians. Tony Slattery used to cut his hair. Whose line is it anyway? I was part of the quiff, like the quiff. And I was cutting people's hair, and I just thought, what the? No swearing. What on earth am I doing with my life? Because and then I tried to pick up a pen and paper, or a pencil, and I tried to draw, and I can't draw. What is going on?
Right. Okay.
So I started then trying to get back into it. So I was just and I kept going and going and going. I did actually end up doing courses, just drawing courses and stuff, just to get myself back into it. And then obviously when I travelled around.
Did you live in Australia for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I lived there for 7 years. I'm Australian citizen, good eye, mate. And
Good accent.
hey, mate. Oh yeah, I did have an accent. And I ended up at university there. I thought, why not? I didn't have anything. I just had drawings, and obviously they'll take anyone over there at the moment to get into uni. I thought, oh, I'm in here. So then I studied over there, doing more graphic communication illustration work.
Yeah.
So I did photography, did all kinds of mediums. So it was really, good learning point for me, and I really sort of got more into the graphic world, the illustrative graphic side of it.
So did you actually work as a graphic designer for a while?
Yeah, I did. It was back in Oz, and I did still do a few bits and pieces there. I kind of like branding, really. I like logos for some reason. I quite like breaking it down, simplifying it and stuff. But so yeah, I did that when I was over there, and I worked for film and television out there, like Channel 7. Worked with them for a bit.
Right.
So I was ending up doing hair and makeup and backstage stuff. It's quite fun.
You met a few interesting people.
I did make a few interesting people. I should name drop, but so basically, that world was quite fun. But that got me through university. I got myself through uni.
What's the name of the Incredible Hulk guy you met?
I met Eric Bana. Used to come around for cups of tea on my floor.
Name dropper.
I know. I don't think he'll be watching today, but it'd be really cool, like just to go. Remember, come around for cups of tea. But it's all that kind of thing. But I met Hugh Jackman. That was quite a nice surprise. That was quite nice. Anyway, there's a few people I saw.
That's
met.
just brushing that under the carpet.
Hello. So I kind of worked in that sort of television-y bit for a bit, doing haircut, styling, backstage stuff, steady things and stuff.
So were you drawing at the time? Or?
Yeah, so that kind of paid for my university as well. So I kind of got myself through uni. And then obviously went off and did graphic design, illustration, and so forth, and then came back here in 2001, I think. I think I remember. Started doing design.
Same time as Leo got here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good year, that. Good year of new beginnings, that was.
Yeah.
Never stop learning in this world.
Leo's the third member of Focus on Art, and you know him as my dance partner and husband, so...
Yeah. So I came back, and then I actually was a teacher. I taught for 6 years at Brockenhurst College.
What did you teach?
I taught design technology. Funny, because I'm not very good with a saw. And I electrocuted myself in a lesson, which was quite funny. So, that was interesting. I sort of came back. I said, kids, don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. And my arm's going like that. And I'm trying to teach, but I taught that.
I electrocuted myself with a tea.
Yeah.
It does hurt, doesn't it?
It really does hurt. It's like like that.
It makes your arm go quite numb. From
It's like shoots right at your arm, and stuff. And I did that. I really enjoyed teaching. Actually, I thought it was really good. I had some really good students. Very naughty students. But they were good students as well, so I was kind of like their agony aunt, so to speak. I sort of like had a little booth where they'd come and have a chat with me, and I was a little bit zany as a teacher, but they forgave me for that. And so I ended up teaching graphics, but I also set up a course, graphic design, the art and design, graphic design, which is still there, functioning now, I think. It's now. And that did really well. So I really enjoyed the 6 years of doing it.
Yeah.
But I did give it up.
Why? Why did you give it up?
I don't know if I really want to say.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, I can say. So basically, I wanted to pursue more of my own stuff. But being a teacher is very, very difficult, and I admire all teachers that are out there. As in, I absolutely loved the whole process of students really and educating and stuff.
And
but then
inspiring them.
Absolutely, I absolutely love that. I got a real buzz out of it, and it was so lovely seeing people really thriving. And I mean,
it's
I
nice
still
seeing
know
people respond, isn't it, when you're a teacher?
Absolutely, but also, I still know a few of my ex-students, so it's quite nice to be able to go, oh, do you know what, I'm so proud of them, because they get on their paths, and that was lovely, that side. But it's kind of the underground bit, I call it the underground, overground, but I just found the whole it's really difficult being a teacher. That people think you get loads of time off. You don't get hardly any time off, and there's a lot of facts and figures and blah 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 blah. And it took away for me the whole process of that teaching role. So I kind of then pursued my own thing for a while.
Right.
So and then I keep pursuing my own thing. I had a little shop.
Yes, I've heard about this.
Yeah.
Was that just purely? This was in Folkestone, wasn't it? I think you said.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I had it for a few years, and it was like a little.
And this was all artwork. All your
Absolutely, yeah. It was quite a lot. I had tea and coffee at one point. I dressed like some sort of little vintage woman. Oh no, like Stepford Wives. But it was quite cute because then I had like the vintage in the back.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we used to have like little tables, chairs, and like. And then did the artwork and had quite a lot of commissions and so forth, and little gifts and stuff. So
did you have other people's artwork in as well?
Yeah, I had more gift shops, and we had a vintage shop in the back which was owned by Rob. And so it was quite small, but it was quite a quirky little place, and people like just come in to chill out really.
Yeah. We
did a couple of events there and so forth, and that went really well. So yeah, that was for about 3 years. So and then obviously life is what it is. You change direction in any concept. We all go like that, don't we?
Yeah.
Go, oh, I'm going to do that now. Oh, this is where. Sometimes it's where it lands as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Life is like that. It's where it lands. But yeah. So
so that led you on to doing more of your own artwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about where you are at the moment. So what inspires you? Said originally it was like almost like caricatures, cartoons. So where do you see that going with your artwork now? And let's have a look at some examples.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll just show you the
wander
example,
around.
because then I can just babble on about it. Because that's what I do.
Because I asked Mary recently, I said, which is the earliest work here? And she said, well, this is all recent really. So
it's all kind of recent. Some of the old stuff, it's too big as well. I couldn't get it in the car.
Plus it was raining today.
And it's raining. It's absolutely typical, isn't it? But some of it's too big. I can't get it in. So, yeah. But I don't know where to start, if I'm going to be completely honest. So, let's bring some over, shall we? Shall we bring some over?
Yeah, bring some over.
Okay. So...
I'd like you to bring that one over.
Which one?
The one with the butterfly on the tongue.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a question about this. I want to...
Oh dear. Hi guys. There's quite a few people here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh no.
Do you want me to hold them?
So anyway, this one. Can you see that?
I don't get it.
Oh, you hold it.
There you go. There's one of... Whoops, I'm going to stuff it in. There we go.
So what do you want to ask me about that then?
I want to know why the butterfly on the tummy. I want to know what your inspiration is with this piece, actually.
Do you know what? I don't flipping know. I don't know. When I did it, I was almost like quite dreamscapey in this one.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, it's not a spiritual painting, but it kind of is. But it's all about new beginnings, I think, for me.
So why the butterfly on the tongue? Because some people, I find that actually quite horrible because I don't like insects very much. Even beautiful ones like butterflies.
Well,
And the idea of having something like that on my tongue is quite disturbing.
Well, yeah. Do you know what? I don't know. I just sort of, you poke your tongue out, and then what you see, the butterfly is coming into your tongue, but it's coming out of your tongue.
It's coming out.
I think it's coming out, but it's going in.
So you're saying like it's your feelings coming out, and they're beautiful. It's like a butterfly being born. That's quite a nice image, actually.
Yeah. So when you think about it, like, also,
because I was thinking it was maybe it landing on the tongue and going in. Maybe that's
not
really.
I think it would be quite, as long as I don't eat it.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I mean, if you look at her, she's quite, I don't know.
I don't know if you probably can't see from where you are, but from where I'm sitting, I can see the detail in the eyes, for example. It's very beautiful.
Yeah. So she's almost in like some sort of dreamscape, isn't she?
Mm. And you've got
she's
the
going
eye.
on a journey. Yeah, the third eye.
Yeah, it's quite spiritual. Is that like a Buddha on the head and everything? Is that also like a reference to the
that's
eye?
an Indian. Yeah, that's an Indian. So I have this thing about red Indians. I don't quite know why. I think they're quite cool beings. I've read quite a lot about their history and so forth. But she seems to be something that has popped up in some of my other paintings. Mm-hmm. And this is something I need to say. I got characters that pop up in paintings.
Right, okay, this goes back to your early childhood again, isn't it? Where you used to create characters.
Yeah, so they do appear in similar art.
Okay.
So basically, this one...
Like this one, yeah. I mean, this is intriguing because, I mean, what is the inspiration for this?
No, you see, this woman, right... I don't know if anyone can see this because we haven't really got the camera space. So that's what I was leading on to. It's a bit shiny, but she appears in quite a lot of my work, cut a few pages of my work.
So she's a character you've created?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, I call her the warrior woman.
Okay.
So if you ever see some of my work, she appears in it.
And you've got this thing with the eye again, the third eye.
Yeah.
This seems
it's
to
all
be
about
recurring
seeing
as well.
through a different level, sort of thing. I don't consider myself a spiritual person, but what I'm saying is that there's something about I'm attracted to that, so it comes out. But a lot of it is through instinctual process.
Right, okay.
So I kind of just talk about it comes out. So a lot of my art just comes out through my thoughts.
So something like this, how long would you have spent on this? Is it something that you would have done and blam, maybe you do it very quickly because it's all coming out of your head, or is it something you would have revisited many times?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to see, but when you look into the
there's a lot of detail here, which you probably can't see.
You can't really see it because there's texture in the paint. So I would go, oh, there's texture. So you kind of see like this all this swirling kind of. It's almost like the mind's going off on some sort of.
And this here is extremely 3D.
Yeah, you can't really see that either.
Why don't you go closer on that side of the table? You might be able to see that then.
I feel like I'm being quite serious, but I'm not.
No,
so
there you are.
You see this? I'm not. Do you know what? I don't know how I'm pointing. So oh no, I'm going the wrong way. Oh my goodness, this bit here. So anyway, if I turn it, so like this, it was actually by fluke, really. So I'm painting away. I'm painting away, and then all of a sudden, a paint starts drying in the palette.
Yeah.
And I'm going, and I peeled it off one day, and I saw all these colours underneath it because it's all dry and it's all just all peeled and so forth. And I thought, oh wow, that's amazing. So I ended up creating, and I mean, I'll go on to the other stuff. So basically, I started then layering
the dry paint.
Layering the dry paint.
What, gluing it back on again?
Yeah, but actually, it glues by itself. Can you believe it? So it actually glues by itself. But there is glue on it, because obviously I don't want it to fall off.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah? So
this is Warrior Woman.
This is Warrior Woman. She appears quite a few times. I call her the Warrior Woman. She's a bit of a warrior. Pardon the pun.
Does she always appear in the same costume? Is that part of Warrior Woman?
She's always very clothed.
Right, okay.
Whether she's, I mean, Leo said rubber suit, but it's not meant to be
Leo
a rubber
called
suit.
her rubber woman.
It's not meant to be a rubber suit, but it's almost like a veil. It's almost like protection.
Right, okay.
But she is very strong.
Have you got another one of your pieces here with her in, or have you given
No,
her
I
one?
didn't.
Oh,
I
that's a
didn't.
shame, because it would have been nice to have seen her in another format.
But it's in a bigger format. I couldn't
okay.
bring it in, and it was raining.
I know, it was raining.
And I don't have
Be dry the
that-
rest of the week.
But so that kind of thing.
So is this a character too?
Yeah, she's a character. Yeah.
Hang on, I've got to get it straight. Yeah.
So she's one of my. Because I did a series of women, but obviously this was during the time when I've just after COVID, and I was sort of like just thinking, oh, I'm gonna. This is when I started experimenting, right, with textures in the background. So I started slapping on paint, like. Then just watching things starting to drip down and stuff. I thought, oh, I like that. Don't quit is actually don't give up on anything. So even though I know she's got a broken cigarette in her mouth, but it's actually her saying don't quit. And it's not about don't quit smoking, it's just like don't quit.
Is this all paint? Some of it
Yeah.
looks like ink. It is paint, is it?
Yeah.
Because it almost looks like Indian ink or something.
Yeah.
It's very...
No, I know, that's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's actually, it is paint. Oh, actually, maybe that is Indian ink. I don't know. It looks a bit more ink. But I tend to use my mixed medium, so I don't really tend to stick to one medium. So I kind of go with others. So this is sort of thoughts and processes. I mean, it's quite illustrative. This one, I'd say, but for me, it's all about the texture and the way it's all just put together.
Do you know what, something I've noticed just looking at your work now is that the eyes, you seem to have a big thing about eyes,
do.
the focus.
I have a
That's
big
coming
thing
through
about
in
eyes.
all your work, actually.
Yeah, I do have a thing about eyes. Everything has got an eye to it. Eye captain.
I mean,
I
this
do have
this
it.
piece is a typical. I mean, look, you can't get bigger eyes than that.
That's Millie. That's my cat.
I like this. I like this.
So I characterise Mills, and she's, again, I suppose if you look at it, it's all about the eyes, but it's just a characterised form of her because she's got these great big blooming ears, and her face just always looks miserable.
I'm gonna.
She
I'm gonna
always,
try and get it closer, actually. So, well, it's a bit shiny.
yeah, because I put a varnish on it.
You can see.
Yeah.
You can see how beautifully it's painted.
Oh, look at her, bless her.
The ears look almost translucent.
Yeah,
and the
that's
eyes are beautiful.
because she has got very big translucent ears with a lot of veins going
There's a
through
hell of
it.
a lot of detail in this. It really is.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, you know, even though I suppose people think, yeah, it's even though some of it's quite plain to look at, it looks like, you know, but there is a lot of, you know, I'll sit and look at it for ages, and and then I just step back and then I start experimenting. It's almost like when I start painting, I start then going into this thing, oh, I'm going to put a bit of this on it, do a bit of that, you know. It's very difficult to...
I think it's difficult to know when a painting's finished, actually. Sometimes I'll leave a painting for weeks and then I keep looking at it off and on, and then go back to it after a few weeks and do something else to it, you know?
Yeah.
But, so we were talking just before we came on air about where you are at the moment, and you brought in one of your pieces
Oh
of
yeah, I've got one that I'm on at the minute.
work. So this is not finished, this next work, but this is where Mary has been going with her work recently.
Yeah. So it's not finished.
And you need to see the texture on this one.
You can't see the texture on it. So anyway, I'll do it this way. So, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that really well, but...
If you see the whole thing first of all, and then I'll try and bring it in so you can see it more.
So, I'm starting to now work because I've got this real thing about splashing paint. I think it's a very therapeutic way of actually...
It's more than splashing. If you can see the hair, this is like literally tubes of globules of paint.
Yeah.
It's completely raised off the board.
Yeah, and actually what I really love about it is the fact that the colours, when you start letting it drip down, is that how these colours like emerge into like drips, into the drips, so the different colours. So when I splat it, It's very, very good process.
But it's more than that, Mary, because this is cut out and put on, isn't it?
Yes.
Because so this whole figure, actually, which you won't be able to see probably, but it's actually 3D. It's actually been, what if you put it on board?
Yeah, it's board, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically it's 3D.
Do you want to try and bring it closer and see if they can see?
I don't know if you can see the texture. I'm not very good at holding things, obviously.
Put the tea out the way a minute before we...
Hello. And big nose is in the way, look at that. I'm only kidding. But, so with the texture, I kind of got this thing, and I don't know if you can see it, like all the... So I don't know if you can see, like all the...
Yeah, I think they can. It is pretty 3D.
You can see all the texture, and actually in here is a collection of all those peeled off bits from the paint. Use everything in your palette. That's what I say. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. No. So, and I haven't finished this at the moment, but I really enjoyed doing that because it kind of brings it to life, and I love all this kind of and I just loved watching it drip.
Yes.
I did. I really liked watching the paint drip down and how the colours kind of came into it at the same time without even thinking about it.
But again, you've got the big focus on the eyes here again.
It is focus on the eyes. I do focus on that. I always did it as a child, actually. I always drew eyes. But I don't know.
And is this a character? Is this one of your
I just made her up, really.
Oh, but have you given her a name?
I haven't, actually. No, I haven't given her a name yet.
I mean, she's got a lot of tattoos like you have on your arm. And
yeah.
Is she almost like a self-portrait, do you think?
I don't know, because I've got green eyes.
No, I know, but...
There may be some element of, like, myself goes in. Obviously, there is. I do think with art, I think you do put yourself into it. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say they are me, but there could be parts of me. I don't know. I do what we don't really know what we do half the time when we're artists. I think we go off. I think personally, I mean, I have a plan in my head. I want to do something, but I never really sort of go, oh wow, there's the outcome, because I never expected it to turn out like that.
No.
Because you can't really see me in the camera because I'm talking, but for me with art, I think it's a process of doing it. And when I was doing that, I was getting so much enjoyment about seeing the colours merging. I was going, wow, that's amazing. And I was sat there looking at it going, oh, weirdo, what am I doing? But I guess that's what we do. We enjoy expressing.
Yeah. And there's no right or wrong, is there?
There's absolutely no right or wrong. I can't wait to finish her, really. She's,
That's the thing about art, though. There is no right or wrong. You can't say art is bad or art is good.
No.
You can have an opinion about it, perhaps, but you can't say or tell anybody that their art is useless or rubbish or anything
Absolutely
else. Because it's expression.
Yeah, and it is. And I think we are really lucky as artists.
Yeah.
Because, there's a lot of things that are going on and people getting, upset, depressed, whatever. We are really lucky as human beings to have whatever creative outlet we are lucky people. We may not have a lot. We may not have a lot in the bank, but I think sometimes we just got to be a bit more grateful for actually being able to do something like that, because it actually does help you heal.
Yeah, art is a wonderful world, isn't it? I mean, if you think of all the creatives, it's not just painters, but the creative genres, which is why we set this up in the first place, is to try to help all those people out there who have creative talent in whatever genre.
Exactly, it could be anything.
Yeah, and it's those people are the soul of society.
Yeah.
Because if you imagine you didn't have dancers or poets or writers or plays or films or painters or
you could go on,
musicians,
sculptures.
If you didn't have any of those things, any of those creative genres in society, my God, how boring it would be.
I know. We wouldn't exist, would we? So we should be all grateful that we are doing stuff like that. People in that profession.
Yeah, and I mean, because of the pandemic as well, I mean, so many new talents have emerged because everybody in lockdown turned to expressing themselves. So some artists have emerged, or creative people have emerged now that maybe would never have thought about doing anything in pre-lockdown, but because they had time on their hands.
I do think a lot of people, I don't know if you agree, but I'm going to put her down. I'm going to sit on her in a minute. She can sit there and have a chat. You all right, love? She kind of reminds me of The Cure.
Yeah, I remember.
Do you know what I mean? I love that band. Yeah, what were we talking about? Yes.
The pandemic, how it brought out
absolutely.
different creative talents.
I think, I'm not sure how, but I do think it has brought out new talent, and I think people are pursuing things that they want to pursue now.
I think actually there's a whole new arts and crafts movement emerging in the UK at the moment. I mean, you can see it from all the stands and the local traders and all the rest of it that you have showing products that they've made. And there's so many ways that you can print products now very easily. You don't have to do a huge run anymore. You know, you can print your artwork on anything you can think of.
Print on demand as well is
print
becoming
on
really
demand.
popular.
So it's great that we have all this talent emerging.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, I think we, as I say, we should be just grateful that we're actually doing it. We're able to do it.
Yeah, bringing colour into people's lives.
Colour! Oh, there you go. So, you know, and I think, you know, it's really interesting, even like we were talking last week, like three different artists. And it was interesting finding out about them, finding out about what made them do what they do. And, you know, you never really know what's behind the artist's mind.
No, not at all.
Or what their background is.
No, sometimes it can be very surprising.
Yeah. Sometimes you just don't want to know. You know. But anyway, so
that's great. I mean, it's been really interesting talking to you, Mary, because as I said, I've seen so many of your pictures, but because we've always been busy, I've never really had time to sit down and have a conversation with you about what was your inspiration behind any of them.
Yeah, I don't know if I've completely done it, you know, this talked about it totally in depth, but you know, anyway, I'm going to say that you are okay. All right,
just
guys.
To finish off with, then you are okay.
Be a punk. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. Sorry, I'm having a moment.
So we're going to take a break, I think, so we can have another cup of tea.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, and
and we'll be back at I think, as I said, our second interview unfortunately had to cancel. So he was on the webpage. You might have been hoping to see him. Very talented artist, but unfortunately today people get ill very frequently. So I hope he feels better soon. And we'll be back at 12 with our last guest of the day. I'm very much looking forward to meeting them.
Yes, she should be fun.
So hopefully, we'll see you soon. Okay, we're back soon. Bye.